Hello and welcome to Full Send Broadcast Network, here tonight with the SCL Super Truck Series presented by the Sunday Cup League here on iRacing from virtual Bristol Motor Speedway here in Tennessee, or virtual Tennessee I should say. Tonight we got a full field of trucks going to be battling around this half-mile high-banked concrete oval to fight for some points here tonight. So as we take a look at our pre-race info here presented by the SCL. Bristol Motor Speedway, it's a half mile. 77 degrees is the temperature out there. 80 degrees is the track surface temp. 31% humidity, partly cloudy with 1 mile an hour winds. We're going to be making 100 circuits around this track tonight. And the one thing that's going to be key to this race is that one fast repair. Just about everyone will get a piece of the wall or a piece of someone else's truck out here tonight. So that's going to be key to hold on to that as long as you can. They're going to have 3 sets of tires. That's including the set of tires that they start with. And the question on everyone's mind here tonight is, will tempers flare among these drivers after the checkered flag flies here tonight? Now, with about 3 minutes left to go in practice, let's take a look at our speed chart here and see who's on top of the leaderboard. Juan Jimenez in that 22 machine is on top with a 14.806. Tillman Hewer in that 12 machine is second with a 14.824. Then Barrett Flo is third with a 14.827. Then it's Austin Call in that 64 machine with a 14.858. And Chris Myers rounds out the top 5 in that 24 truck with a 14.873. Now, if we take a look at some of the speeds that these guys are getting around here as they cross the line, looks like the fastest so far in practice speed-wise at the line is Michael Rinker in that 9 machine with 147 miles an hour across the line. And that in these trucks around here is blazing fast. And the one thing that's going to be key about tonight's race is, as you see, it is going to be a multi-groove track. There's going to be some guys running the high line, some guys running the low line. But the big key about it is not getting up in that loose stuff. As you can see here in the camera on the right side of the screen by the wall, you see the black chunks of rubber. You get up in the marbles, you're going to be heading right for that wall. And a lot of these drivers will be fighting somewhat of a loose condition coming out of the corners from the transition from banking to the straightaway that has a lot less banking. As you see right there, as that truck got loose coming out of 2, sorry. It's going to be interesting to see how many times the right rear of these trucks slap that outside wall or just straight up lose it and come back across the track and head for that inside wall. And you pretty much, once you break loose here at Bristol, you're just along for the ride. It's rare to happen where a driver can actually save it and not hit anything, whether it be the outside wall or inside wall, due to the track being so narrow and the speeds being so high. And joining me in the booth for tonight's race is Josh Terrett-Hill. Hey there, Josh. How you doing tonight?
Jacob, you caught me in the middle of a push-to-cough session. But thanks for coming out tonight, broadcasting tonight's race. Should be a good one, and we have a decent field of trucks tonight to race at Bristol.
Yes, we do. And we definitely have some notables out there tonight as well, as we have about 20 seconds left to go here in practice. Let's run through a few of them here, Josh. Let's see here. We're going to have got TJ Hanley out here. I can get the camera to go over to him.
Yep, TJ is one of our newest members of the league. He is a professional trading paint maker. He does a great job. You can look him up on Trading Paints, and he can make you a paint of your choosing.
As the checker flag flies here on practice, we're going to be going over into qualifying now. Guys got 5 minutes to get 2 laps in around this track. Looks like Todd Merkel is going to be the first one out.
Todd's a good friend of ours, longtime driver in the SCL. He lives up in Michigan, used to be a big drag racer, and actually transformed into a go-kart racer. So he professionally races go-karts now up in the Midwest.
That's awesome. As we see Todd take the green flag here for his first lap. Looks like he's going to be on top of the leaderboard at the moment, as we're going to have a quick change up front. Dean Grob in that 7 machine. And about the time he gets to the top, he gets surpassed by Austin Call in that 64 machine there. And as quick as that happens, Chris Myers goes to the top spot in that 24 Garza Law Firm truck.
And that's a good-looking truck, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Chris Myers, another real-life race car driver. He races in the Super Street division at Langley Motor Speedway in Virginia. Him and Tillman Hewer are both Super Street competitors at the Langley Raceway in Virginia.
And right now we're looking up on Derek Walker in that 20 machine. He gets into the wall right there. That's going to scrub this lap time. See if he's able to get that second lap clean.
Derek Walker in the 20 actually has a big following on the Twitch network. He broadcasts most of his race. You can see him live right now on the Twitch channel. If you would like to look that up, Derek Walker is the Jalopy on Twitch.
As you've seen right there, Derek Walker got loose in the middle of the corner and backed it into the wall. That's going to end his qualifying run. Right now, we're looking at Andrew McKenzie currently sitting P10 on the board. Does not look like he's going to better his second lap. There's Larry McKenzie with a very tore up 00 truck. Like he definitely got into the wall there on qualifying.
It's kind of a tightrope as you're trying to qualify. You want to lay down the fastest lap you can, but obviously, if you try and go too fast, you'll end up in the fence.
And now we're looking up on the 92 truck of Barrett Flo. As he comes across the line for his second lap, looks like that's going to put him at the top of the speed charts, tied with Chris Myers with a 14.837.
Not a big surprise from Barrett Flo. He is the defending champion of this truck series here in the SCL. Longtime competitor, multi-time champion in every one of our series.
Yeah, and but what just kind of blows me away right here is that they are actually tied for the pole here. That is rare to see an exact same time for the top spot.
So on my software, it's showing a 14.837 for Barrett Flo and a 13.838 for Myers. So that might be the little bit of a change there. I'm seeing a thousandth better on my software.
Yeah, but that's still crazy tight though for the top spot here. This practice has a little bit less than a minute left as Juan Jimenez gets out on track.
Juan Jimenez, he is a longtime competitor in the SEL. He's been racing for a long time. He is known as Juanma, if anybody remembers him from back in the day.
And a sharp-looking 22 paint right there.
Now I'd like to welcome in our third commentator for tonight, the other colored commentator, Mike Peters. Thanks you for coming in here tonight, Mike. All right, Mike having some technical issues, but qualifying looks like it's wrapping up as we see these cars trying to lay down a fast time and get something for Barrett Flo here sitting on the pole right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, these drivers, they're fixing to get ready to hash it out aggressively for 100 laps here tonight. Still waiting for Mike Peters to come to the microphone here.
Good evening.
Hey, there he is. How you doing tonight, Mike?
Doing good. I'm at home on the computer, so I just had to change on my microphone. But yeah, look forward to calling this with you guys and seeing how the trucks do here at Bristol.
Absolutely. Well, we just ended qualifying here. These drivers are gritting up out here on pit road. If we can get a good view of it there. There, the trucks are gritting up. So we're going to show you the full field rundown here on where they will start tonight's Super Truck Weekly race. Here from virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. On the pole is Barrett Flo in that 92 machine. In second is Chris Myers in that Garza Law Firm 24. In third is Tillman Hewer. Fourth, Austin Call. Fifth, Juan Jimenez. Sixth is Dean Grob. Seventh is Michael Rinker. Eighth, TJ Hanley. Ninth is Larry McKenzie. And 10th is Greg Birch.
Starting 11th, we're going to have Dan Jones. Looking outside of him, we're going to have Todd Merkel in that 2 truck. Andrew McKenzie in the 16. Derek Walker in the 20. He's going to be starting off 14th tonight. It looks like he's the first one that did not have a qualifying time. And then we're going to have TJ Elaine, Chad Waller in that 66 truck, Brentley McFarland, and Richard Wicks rounding out the field in the 81.
That's your official starting lineup here tonight in the Super Truck Series presented by the Sunday Cup League here on Full Send Broadcast Network. We appreciate each and every one of you tuning in here tonight. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you know when we go live with all the great racing action that we like to bring to the fans as they are doing their drivers meeting right now. That's where Josh went off to do the drivers meeting and fill these drivers in on some of the rules and regulations they have to look forward to tonight. So, Mike, looking ahead to this 100-lap race here around this half-mile concrete oval, what are you looking to see to get out of tonight?
I think everyone's just going to be looking to, like you said, get out of here. It's Bristol. We're in trucks. This is one of our feeder series, so, we've got different skill levels out there. It's 100 laps around this place. It's just a little half mile, so it's not a lot of distance, but a lot can happen. It's one of the biggest speed changes between the corner and the straightaway as far as aggressive braking and being real assertive on the throttle. So it's high banked, but there's a lot of input, which means there's a lot of room for mistakes. So it's just going to be about not making mistakes, not getting into people, and also too just not creating a situation for yourself where you give someone a reason to think about you later in the event. You don't want to get into it with somebody. You want to keep it clean and keep it out of trouble. So it's going to be a race of attrition to an extent, but hopefully not with too high of an attrition.
Yeah, that's definitely some great analysis there. The one thing that I've noticed that these drivers are having trouble with is coming out of the corners where the transition of the banking goes from real steep to not necessarily flat, but not as much banking as the corner, and they get real loose coming out of the corner. I'm expecting a lot of tank slapping to go on down the straightaways, especially once they get later on in the run and the tires start wearing out here.
For sure. That's always a challenge with Bristol, because Bristol is the steepest track that they're going to run on the circuit. It's not a plate track. It's concrete, so it's extraordinarily grippy. So what happens is you get the truck all set up, and then it compresses all the suspension, and the truck is designed, and then cars are too. They're designed to where they settle, and they get set up in a happy spot going around the corner, but when they come off, they unload, and if the suspension unloads or you got a counter steer or something, the whole chassis is set up to turn left if the wheels turn left, so the moment you got to turn right and counter steer, just kind of sets it up, makes it a little squirrely, but just be these guys that can be smooth, they'll be good. But yeah, if it does get out of shape, it can get real hairy real quick, especially when you got traffic right behind you.
Yeah, and it can create some hairy situations too, because if you get sideways, this track clogs up really quick.
Yeah, the track's going to be dynamic, as are the setup and the tires. With the concrete, it's just going to chew up the tires, and, it's a lot of speed on this track, too. I was watching somebody, and they were talking about it. But here we go, green flag as we get this race started.
As they get up through the gears here, heading off into turn 1, Barrett Flo with a great start out here in the clear 24 of Chris Myers by about 2 truck lengths as they come out of turn 4 now to complete lap 1.
Clean lap 1 at Bristol. That's all you can ask for there. Is they're getting a little bit straightened out, a little bit side by side going on. For the most part, everybody's getting straightened out here. It's stringing out real well. Everybody's racing clean, being patient. 100 laps. We got 98 to go. Oh, we got one going around in 3.
Oh, yeah, hard hit for the 00 onto the 20 of Walker. Going to bring out our first caution of the night here on lap 3. Let's go back and take a look and see exactly what happened here to that 00 machine of Larry McKenzie.
Like he just turns in, gets a little bit loose, maybe have the brake bias a little too far back. Truck wasn't quite up yet, but just loses it all by himself. Looks like he collects that hard to miss number 2 truck, which he definitely didn't miss there. And then the poor number 20, Derek Walker, just nowhere to go. So, but the good news is I believe they have fast repairs. I wasn't in the digital drivers meeting. I may be incorrect there. Wouldn't be the first time, but I believe they've got an opportunity to get that sorted out.
Yeah, they have one fast repair here tonight. As we look at the 00 there of Larry McKenzie with that nose all tore up on that 00 machine. Let's check out the damage on the 2 of Todd Merkel. Not too bad a damage. I mean, it's Bristol. It's a little aero dependent, but not overly aero dependent. Looks like he's pulling up next to the 51 to check that damage out. But it doesn't look too bad. I mean, it just has a little bit of scraping, maybe a crinkled fender, but nothing that I would think would really hurt the performance of that 2 machine.
Yeah, and the nice thing about Bristol, too, is it's high speed for what it is, but it's not high speed. I mean, you might do a $135 here, but it's mostly, G-loads and banking and stuff, so you can get away with some damage. We're on lap 5 now, so I would probably just ride it out. Make sure the suspension's halfway decent, and just let it roll around because there's going to be more cautions. It's going to happen. So just ride it out. You're never out of it till you're out of it here, as we saw even in the Cup race not too long ago.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of these guys will pull in the clutch under this caution flag and watch their RPMs and see if it is still the original RPMs you had at the start of the race. That will be identification whether you have engine damage or not. Also, they look at their water temperature and oil temperature to see if they are raised at all. But if you have the same RPMs, oil temperature, and water temperature, you can pretty much figure out that you don't have engine damage at least. And like you said, aero damage is not going to hurt you that much at this track.
Yeah, as we were looking there at the 20 of Derek Walker, he took his fast repair. That engine was smoking on that 20 machine. So definitely some bad luck for Derek Walker out there, as he now has no fast repairs left.
But that's part of Bristol racing. You're either part of it, or you get caught up in it, or you don't get caught up in it. Those are the 3 scenarios.
Yeah, as the field is doubled up, like they added another lap to the caution here. Let some of these guys get sorted out. They're racked up. They're ready to go. Green flag racing here once again to begin on lap 9, looks like. Got them 2 Garza Law Firm trucks nose to tail on the outside line. It's going to be interesting to see if they work together to try to get out ahead of that 92.
Yeah, the Garza Law Firm trucks are really having a good showing tonight. Chris Myers was able to put her on the outside pole, and Tillman Hewer was able to qualify 3rd. He has moved up right behind his teammate, but they're ready to go green here out of turn number 4.
As the green flag is back out here at Bristol Motor Speedway, Barrett Flo with a huge restart right there. Going to clear the 24 of Myers by about 4 truck lengths.
Looking a lot better on this restart. A lot of patience here. They're getting strung out single file. Everybody realizes we're on lap 10 out of 100. We got a long way to go.
Barrett Flo gets turned by Myers. They're going to clog up the track here as the second.
As I say that,
they're still
wrecking. Looks like TJ Lane locked it up trying to avoid that. Ended up getting into the 51 truck. What an unfortunate turn of events for everybody involved in that.
So as we've seen right there, it looked like a miscommunication of braking points entering the corner. It looked like Chris Myers got up into the back bumper of Barrett Flo and turned him. It's not extreme damage. I don't think it's fast repair worthy being this early in the event. You take a look at Chris Myers, the nose of that truck and the back bumper all caved in. That may create a little bit of aero damage to affect the performance of that machine. Let's go back and take a look and see exactly what transpired on that. As we're going to see the beginning of this wreck right here. As they're coming down the front stretch, looks like Barrett Flo backs the corner up. Looks like Chris Myers was just able to get to the throttle a little bit quicker, and then we see them getting turned. 51 just trying to check up. Couldn't get checked up in time and just ran into the back of the 6 of TJ Lane. And the 51 being the Greg Birched machine. As we go back live, so right now, Chris Myers in that 24 Garza Law Firm machine is scored your leader out front
for long
there at Bristol. Yeah, as he's coming down the pits to get that damage fixed.
He's also getting an EOL.
Speaking of damage, let's check in on Derek Walker real quick. He got caught up in that first accident, had to burn that fast repair. Let's check in on him real quick.
Yeah.
Hey Derek, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, it's Mike, Jacob, and Josh up here in the booth. So we saw you had to burn that fast repair. Really nowhere to go on that first incident. What's your strategy here on out? Just ride around? What, are you going to try to mix it up? What do you do here?
Survive, I think. We're on lap 13 and I'm already out of a quick repair, so that's definitely rough. Yeah, it's going to be about survival. They're driving a little erratic right now, I can see from the back, but I think once people get the feel, they'll be all right. We'll be able to hopefully just slowly work our way through.
Thing is, Derek, the 2 fastest cars or trucks in the session are starting behind you, being Barrett Flo and Chris Myers that started on the front row. What are you going to do to try and hold those guys off, or are you just going to let them go?
Hey, if they want it at all, it's theirs. I'll happily give it to them right now this early on with no quick repairs left. So well, I don't know. Again, it's all about survival for me. It depends on how much they're pushing from behind, I reckon.
Well, hopefully you're done with the wrecking. Speaking of wrecking.
You're not wrecking.
Yeah. Just going to try to avoid it here. It's unfortunate there. I saw that truck wrecking, and I tried to get slowed up, and looked like he was going down low, and then I don't know what happened. I don't know if he let off the brake or what, but he came right back up the track and nowhere to go. So.
All right, we're getting ready to go green here again, guys. Thanks for stopping in with us tonight, Derek, and a big shout out to all your Twitch followers.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
That was the 20 of Derek Walker that we just spoke to here under caution, involved in that first incident, taking a fast repair early. As they are racked up, ready to go back green flag racing here at Virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. Pace car makes that hard left-hand turn down the banking. Green flag is back out. Austin Call hard on that skinny pedal. Gets a
great start.
Yeah, Austin had a great start there. It looks like the 12 truck of Tillman Healer setting sail, trying to catch that number 64 car of Austin Call. Tillman is obviously a real-life competitor, and he knows all about getting through one of these long races tonight, 100 laps here at Bristol.
It's interesting to see the lines they're taking, too. You've got Austin, Call, and Tillman taking that kind of middle entry and then taking that late apex right on the pavement there, and then the 9 truck right behind him is trying to make that high line work. And if you look, they're really not getting away from each other. All the different lines, they work real well. That's one cool thing about here at Bristol, is you can take different routes, and there's really not a pro or con to any of them, just tire wear, and they're going to move around the track too. Good job matching the 64's line by the 12 truck right there as he tries to close up just a little bit.
Yeah, that's the one thing I do love about this track is the multi-groove racing that it produces, especially here in the trucks. Now, the one thing that is great about this track with the multi-groove racing is you see right there that Hewer stuck that nose of that truck to the left just a little bit underneath the 64 of Call.
And we got a spin on the back straight. 51 truck just went around all by himself. Luckily, nobody's caught up in that. Caution on the track.
Oh, is he?
Oh, no.
Leader involved under caution. This could be what we spoke about earlier. Tempers flaring as the race goes on. And it looks like that 64 may be smoking as well. He is. That's going to be a fast repair that's going to have to be used right there on that leader.
Yeah, I mean, the 51 was getting going again. He was pulling up. It looked like the track was clear, and then he spun out. And then the leader happened to catch him at a bad spot where he couldn't make a decision to go around him high or low and had to run into him. So, tough break there for the leader.
Yeah, as we're looking at the replay right now, yeah, he just got loose on that transition. Look, he was wrecking for about half a lap. Todd Merkel got a little piece of it, finishing the 51 off right there. Tough break for the 64 of Austin Call. I can only imagine the frustration going off in that helmet right now, that 64 truck.
Yeah, that's really frustrating. Austin's one of the guys where he's playing this a lot. You know, he's a younger cat. He comes to the local track and comes out there and has a good time, wants to get into racing, and you know, he does a great job here on iRacing. He's always fast, and God, it's awful. You see the 51 truck in this league too. It's designed for everybody. This is our Cup League is kind of our it's our Cup League. You know, it's the zenith of what we're doing here. This is kind of like the middle entry level deal. Street stocks are obviously our starter league, so you know you can't really get mad at the 51 because he's in this league to learn, but he just makes a mistake, goes around, but that's, I'm not going to say inexcusable, but that's a huge mistake. You see the leaders coming, you gun it, and you spin up the track. You gotta wait. Sometimes you get in an accident, the leaders are coming, you don't want to lose a lap, but sometimes it's best to just sit there, let the field go by. Your truck may be damaged. Let them go by and then figure out, if the truck's even going to drive straight. That's an awful situation for Austin Call. You hate to see it. But again, we're not too far in. He's got plenty of time to make it up, and I don't think it's going to ruin his night. I mean, we're not that far into this. There's a lot of time to go.
But, yeah. I mean, we've all been there. All three of us are iRacers. You get spun out, you try to get going again, you're just barely getting on the throttle, just barely pushing on it, and then it loops itself again because you have either some damage or you have tire damage, and you are not ready for that. Obviously, the leader that's coming around is not ready for that. It's just a bad situation all around.
I don't know, Josh. I mean, I'm going to speak for myself here. I never make mistakes. Spinning out, blowing pit road. Yeah. Not me. I would never do that.
Never seen you do that.
Never.
Matter of fact, it happened to me last night. I got into an IndyCar race here on iRacing and was at Kentucky, I believe it was. Came down for a green flag stop. I was running about fourth. Come down pit road, got my tires and fuel, came off of pit road, and right at pit exit, as soon as I got to where I could start gassing it up a little too hard, broke the rear tires loose, and I just nosed it right into the inside wall, broke the front wing off. My race was done. So, I mean, it can happen at a snap, and you don't expect it sometimes.
And it was just bad place, bad time for the Austin Call car.
Yeah.
Getting ready to go green.
Ace car makes that hard left-hand turn. Green flag is back out. Tillman Hewer with a great restart. Going to clear that 9 truck of Rinker by about 2 truck lengths, but Rinker's going to have a little bit of momentum here as they come out of turn 2.
I'm watching that 92 truck of Barrett Flow. He restarted in the back of the pack 2 restarts ago, and he's slowly making his way up. He's about halfway through the field now in 9th place, but he will be one to watch here in the later stages of this event.
Yes, he will.
Yeah, this is where it could get a little dicey. You got Austin Call, you got Derek Walker, you got the 92 Barrett Flo trying to work their way up. These are guys that are traditionally pretty fast, and now they're in the middle of the pack trying to be patient. But it's tough too, because if we go back to let's take a look at Barrett Flo and Derek Walker back here. They're in front of behind of this. And Austin Call's caught up with them too, but they're outside this 16 Andrew McKenzie truck. Just look at all the different lines everybody's taking. It's he goes around almost, but he saves it. But just look at all the great save by Andrew McKenzie out there, the number 16 Miller Lite Brad Keselowski looking F-150 out there. Good save. Todd Merkel comes up on him, but let's go back up to the guys up here that we were just talking about, Derek Walker and all these guys, and just the lines that everybody's taking around them is just difficult. So you just got to kind of ride around.
Yeah, it's now as we see him closing in on the 66 of Chad Waller. Going to go to the inside here of that 66 machine. Just clearing him as they head off into the corner. But here comes Derek Walker and Austin Call. They're 3 wide back here, passing that 66 machine.
We got another caution on the track.
Looks like TJ Elaine is involved in that.
Yeah, it looks like TJ was having some internet issues. I know he's new to this league. He's been around the iRacing community for a while, so we're always happy to have anyone here, especially the newer guys, get him involved. But I don't know what was up with his internet. Normally it's pretty decent, but in the race chat you could hear Todd Merkel and some other guys around him just being courteous, but also kind of letting people know, hey man, you're lagging. And then it looks like he just pulled to the infield to stop to try to safely get off the track. But when he did, it lagged, which shows the car stopped on the track, which is going to throw automatic yellow. So, which is good for a lot of these guys that are trying to make their way up to the field, because it'll stack them back up, get them some distance, give them a chance to pit, top off on fuel and everything.
And he has having a huge internet issue, TJ is. I've got a meter on him, and I've read over 120 lags, like spikes in the lag, as he's been in this room, and that's far and above anything anybody else has had tonight. So he was definitely having some internet issues there. Looks like he tried to pull it off, but it threw the yellow.
Yeah, and the internet issues, it happens to the best of us. And miraculously, a lot of the times it happens when it rains real hard, especially when you don't have fiber optic. There's some drivers that still don't have fiber optic internet. Like I just recently got it. But man, I tell you, like when it rains, sometimes it can wreak havoc on someone's internet while they're in iRacing. And,
let's drag Todd Merkel up here and chat with him real quick, because he got a front view to that. Let's check in on him real quick. Hey Todd, it's Mike, Jacob, and Josh up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Indeed I do. What's going on, guys?
Not a lot, man. We were just talking about TJ Elaine, and his internet connection wasn't really where it should have been. I heard you kind of talking to him. It looks like he pulled off the track, and when he did, it kind of made a caution bring out there. Walk us through what that's like when you're on track and you got the guy kind of blinking in front of you. It's not necessarily his fault, but what all risks do you have to involuntarily take when that's going on out there?
Well, I mean, the story is he disappears going down the straightaway, and when you get to the corner, he could be inside your car. You just don't know where he's going to be.
So what kind of concerns does that make when you're like trying to race? Like walk us through, like, because it makes it tricky in my experience when you're trying to go, because you don't know, it's tough to close the gap. You're hesitant to outbrake them. Do you drop back a little bit because you don't know where they're going to appear? And again, it's not necessarily their fault, but it's just a unnecessary risk sometimes. What's your strategy on that, Todd?
I just try to leave them tons of room and try to remember where their normal groove was, expecting that they're still in it, I hope.
So would you say maybe you cannot go full send at that point?
I would say that you cannot go full send at that point, no.
Well, it looks like we're stacking you guys up to go full send. We're going to go back full send up here in the broadcast booth. I'll drop you back down to your 1320 channel. Anyway, thanks for your time, and good luck out there. Stay out of trouble. I know you've already burned that fast repair. Don't do it again.
All right, take it easy.
All right, and like I said, Todd's go-kart racer turned, he's a drag racer turned go-kart racer. His family builds them MERKEL racing engines, which make A lot of power out there on the drag strip and in other parts. So if you're up in Michigan, look up MERKEL racing engines if you have need for a racing engine. We're going green.
Green flag is back out here at Bristol. Tillman Hewer with a good start right there. Going to get in front of that 9 truck of Rinker by about a truck length and a half. Make that 3 truck lengths out of turn 2. That outside lane got a good jump right there as they get about 3 trucks clear out of the front. Inside lane just really kind of went nowhere.
Yeah, Michael Ranker in that 9 truck, and then this red truck that's right behind him got a great runoff too on the high side. Ryan Grobe in that number 7 truck, just an excellent job on that restart, and they get all strung out. We're single file back to the 7 and the 24. We got a decent little pack here. Derek Walker and all these guys trying to work their way back up to the front here.
Yeah, like you said, you got 3 cars that are really fast, the 24, the 20, and the 92, and they are just trying to make their way back through this pack, which all of us know can be very hard if you feel like you've got a fast truck on that night and you get stuck back in traffic.
Yeah, and throw the 64 of Austin Call in that mix too.
And you know these guys have got to be tense too. They're watching the 24 and the 7 side by side, lap after lap. Some of these guys don't have a fast repair anymore. 64, the 20. If something happens in front of them, they don't really have time to react. So, is it go time, or do you let these guys single file out? It's tough. You want to be up front, but they're just back there trying to ride. But in the back of their mind, they're thinking too, like, you know what? Something happens, I can't afford to get caught up in it. So
definitely. It's got to be hard staring at the back spoiler of that 7 truck.
Oh, as the 20 gets
just as we were talking about it.
20's going to end up.
20's going around. He's going to hold on to it. No. And he collects the 64. Man, I got to stop talking about these guys because it just happens every time.
Tough break for these guys that we were just talking about. And that's going to be a end of the night, looks like, for the most part, performance-wise, out of that 20 machine of Walker. With how hard he nosed it into the wall, that's difficult. Now, let's go back, and we're going to ride along with the 2 of Todd Merkel on this one. He had a fantastic view of this incident. And you'll see how quickly here in the replay, how fast this track just clogs up. You can see the incident happening. He's out of the throttle, on the binders. Holy cow, he almost got involved in that when the 20 collected the 64 of Call.
And that's what we were talking about here, attrition too. And it's one of those things where, who's at fault here? Who can you blame? Well, you can't really blame anyone per se. The 20 truck's racing real hard at the 24. That's a purposeful race for position. Gets just a little tiny bit loose, and then he does everything he can to keep it off the 24 truck. Barely gets into him, and then just tries to collect it, and then he's got, just nowhere to go, and then poor Austin Call just gets killed after he bounces off the wall. That's awful. And you know that none of these guys want to ever do that to anybody too. That's just tough.
Yeah, and as I got to give props though to that 24 machine there of Chris Myers holding on to that truck after getting doored and entering the corner on the apron.
Like I said, Chris Myers, he runs them street stocks at Langley. He's probably used to getting doored.
And the 16 sideways trying to avoid it. Looks like he might have actually looped it around. Yeah, he did get a piece of the inside wall there.
It looks like the 16's lap down.
Let's check on Austin Call. He's in the pits trying to fix. Let's see what his status is real quick. Actually, if one of y'all wants to grab him, I can't drag him all the way up there.
Working on it.
Austin, you got a copy?
Yeah?
Hey, buddy, your night's not going too great, is it?
No.
At least you're able to kind of laugh about it. What's the damage look like in the pits there? Are you done, or is it like a 5-minute deal, or?
No, it wasn't any damage. My car just stopped out of nowhere. Like, I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, it looks like the 20 car actually hit you door to door, which kind of spun you out, or got you some damage or whatever.
Well, yeah, so I was gonna come down. I was planning on coming down pit road, but I don't know if you'll look back at the replay, but it just stopped. I wasn't even doing anything. Like, I was just pacing around, and the car just stopped out of nowhere, and I'm towing now.
Oh, you're still towing. That stinks. Yeah, the 20 of Walker, you saw it happen right in front of you, and we were just talking about it on the broadcast, too. I don't know if you're watching in the background like some of you guys do, but we were just talking about how tense it is when you guys, you get caught up in something earlier. I know you had one of the deals you never want to see happen. Part of the reason I know you and everybody else races here is to be part of the community that lets the newer guys come in and get some experience racing fast guys like yourself. The 51 truck got loose and looped it, but then you try to get going, didn't realize how damaged he was. Comes right up the track into you while you're leading. Yeah. And I know that's frustrating, but it's a big inner deal. But it looks like you're back out there, and we're going green. So we'll let you get going. But we'll talk to you next caution. Go make some laps, bud.
All right, thank you.
Oh, we got more cars going sideways again.
Whoa,
We've got the truck, the 51 truck, the 007 truck getting together in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, that is a parking lot down there. We'll have to go back and see what happened. Does it look like there was about a half a dozen trucks involved here? Right now we're watching the 12 of Tillman Hewer. Oh yeah, 51 and the 9 got together. Collects the 07, the 12 comes to a stop. Todd Merkel involved. Just turned into a parking lot down there in front of Hewitt. Let's look at that one more time, but right along with the 12 machine of Hewer. This will show you how hectic these restarts can be because you have no visual in front of you being that close to the truck. Tough break.
Let's go back and watch this too. Let's highlight the 51 car on this restart here, and let's back it up to the actual restart a little bit. So we're not going to pick on anybody, but he's been in a couple incidents here. But let's kind of walk it through this. So the restart gets going. Let's back it up to right at the restart, and let's get that green flag out. So the green flag comes out. We're rolling. He's got a bit of a gap there. He's got some damage, and you got the 9 truck, and then these other guys that were just up front. And man, it's you gotta kind of have a little bit of patience, but give some space there too. You left a bunch of room on the restart. Your truck's not where it should be. You got somebody inside. Just give him a little bit of extra room there.
A little bit slower. The 51 definitely a little bit slower, but the 9 also putting his nose in there. I mean, it's kind of a 50-50 deal, I think.
Well, the 9 too is kind of in a tough spot because he hasn't really interacted with some of these guys in the back all night, and it's an expectation of him that if they're slow, they're going to kind of maybe be aware of it as well with the engine damage. So it's just an impossible situation like we were talking about earlier, where it's like you're trying to get back to the front, and where's he supposed to go? He's got the car on the inside that's running a good bit up. The car on the far inside, it looks like it's kind of tough to read a little bit. The 15 truck comes up just a little bit. It almost looks like the 15 barely gets into the 9, and that kicks him up into the 51.
But tough to call there. Obviously, the 51 was slower, but I mean that's part of racing, and these guys got to be aware of who's slower and who's faster too. I mean that's all part of it. I'm race control during this event, and I'm kind of calling that one a racing incident because, the 51 is slow, the 9 is pushing in there, he's getting a bump from behind. I don't think anybody was at fault for it.
Yeah, that did look like a racing incident kind of deal. Like you alluded to a while ago, the 9 being faster truck, first time he's been kind of back there in the back tonight. That it's not really the expectation of the slower trucks getting out of the way. It's you're not used to racing around the slower trucks. So you kind of keep your pace the same and not expecting it to be that much different when it's worlds different on them. As the pace car makes that left-hand turn, green flag is back out here at Bristol. Dean Grubb, good start, jumping out in front of Chad Waller. Chad Waller battling back to the inside in that 66 truck, not going to have the momentum to make it happen on the low side.
Hopefully we can see some patience back here, though, with the 8 truck and these all these guys back here. Let's drop back to where the 15 and the 07. You know, this is the trouble we've been seeing all night. We've got a bunch of different speeds, a bunch of different drivers. They're finally starting to string out. But man, watching them go 2.5, 3 cars wide, different lines there. Looked like we were going to get another caution there for a second, but it looks like we're finally getting strung out. So some of these guys can try to run their own race and get this going.
The interesting part of this is the 7 truck that's leading now of Ryan Grob is still on his original tires.
Oh, we got another truck going around in 3 and 4, and he's going to, collects the 15. Austin call again, Todd Merkel. Oh, Austin just can't catch a break.
We're going to have to go back and take a look and see exactly how that happened. Looked like it started with the 12 of here. See if we can figure out what happened here. There you see that 12 cars involved from the truck. Piloted by Tillman Hewer.
Austin Call getting into it, no problems of his own, but getting into it.
And that's a shame too. I mean, I'm not trying to talk about him the whole entire broadcast. I mean, you got somebody that was leading the race. They were checking out pretty good, get caught up with a newer truck making a very absent-minded mistake, and now he just can't seem to get away from these things due to no fault of his own, nowhere to go. And the same with Todd Merkel. That's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, as we look at that replay one more time, you've seen the 9 of Rinker just outbreak the 12 in turning going into the corner.
And again, I'm not defending the 9 truck at all, but it's so tough when you're back there with some of these guys that you haven't raced with, and they're learning, but it's just one of those things where you just sometimes, and I've had this happen to me, you go in there and you're not expecting it, and they do something, and by the time that you're able to react, it's just too late, and it's not a good situation.
And the 15 of Bentley McFarland just ever so slightly getting clipped and just sends him back up the track in front of the 64 of Austin Call. 16 there of Andrew McKenzie squeaking by sideways, but the 64 of Austin Call sliding back down the track in front of the 2 of Merkel, shoving Merkel into them orange barrels. Tough break for a lot of good cars out there tonight. So on lap 63 of 100 here, we're well over halfway here tonight. The 7 truck of Dean Grob is your leader out there with a clean Toyota Tundra. In second, we got Chad Waller. Third, TJ Handley. In fourth, Chris Myers. Rounding out the top 5 is Dan Jones.
Let's check in on TJ Handley here real quick. TJ, it's Mike up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. What's up?
Not a lot, man. We're watching this from the booth. I don't know if it looks any better out the windshield. We're happy to have you join us. How are you doing out there, buddy?
Man, logging laps and dodged the big one with the 9 and the 51. That was fun.
That's a good way to describe that. We're gonna let you guys go green here in a minute. I just wanted to drag you down to see how your race was going. We might talk to you a little later. Stay out of trouble, bud.
Hey, watch this. 7's gonna try to launch early in the box.
Let's see how it goes. We'll be watching. Good luck.
Interesting call there from the 08 of TJ Handley. 7 makes the jump
that one too, and it's important. Study what your guys are doing. Know what they're going to do so you can react and get clear.
Again, Ryan Grob here is out on his original set of tires. He has 66 laps on them set of tires that he is racing against Chad Waller, who has half as many laps on his tires, and the guys behind him only have 20 or so laps on their tires. So tires really not a big issue tonight.
Yeah, that clean air is king here at this short track.
Well, also, too, a lot of the laps have been under caution. As you were talking about, he had some laps on those tires. Now, as he crosses the start-finish line, this will be his 69th. 69 laps on those tires there. And as you can see, it's really not affecting him too bad.
As he comes around through 1 and 2.
Oh, we got another car going around out of 2. Single car accident. Looks like a
Double O.
Larry McKenzie in that 00 truck going around all by himself out of 2. Thankfully, he keeps it together, doesn't collect anyone. Tough break for him in that Toyota Tundra.
Yeah, it's been a rough night for that 00 machine. Let's go back and see exactly how he lost it here. You see him battling to the outside of the 12 of Hewitt. All by himself here down the front stretch. Just goes into the corner. Looks like maybe too much rear brake bias and just kind of loops it around, noses it off into the inside wall there.
Not a lot to talk about. Just gets loose and goes around. It's a lot of patience not being demonstrated here today. You know, some of this stuff too. I mean, you got just not too many laps to go, but sometimes it's best to just kind of let it ride. You know, you don't need to push it. Everyone's gonna get to the finish at this point if they make it to the finish. A lot of attrition. Trying to see how many cars we got on the lead lap here right now.
It's Bristol, baby.
Looks like we may have 12 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, so I mean, at this point, it's one of those things where, you know, it's just kind of not worth going around. You know, just let it ride. You know, you're guaranteed a top 10 if you just make it to the end at this point. And, you know, it's Bristol too. I'm sure there were a lot of people that kind of were concerned about this or maybe not comfortable with it, but didn't make it out. But yeah, it's tough. Let's run through the field. Let's check on everybody. Let's see where we're at.
Yeah, your leader right now, that 7 truck of Dean Grob. In second, we got...
It's like Chris Myers and that number 24 Garza Law Firm Chevrolet Silverado.
EJ Hanley pulling up the 3rd spot.
In 4th, we got Chad Waller in that 66 truck.
Flo in 5th on the 92.
And Dan Jones in that 007 Chevy Silverado back there in 6th right now, middle of the pack.
Tillman Howard pulling up the 7th spot in the 12 truck.
In 8th, we got Bentley McFarland in that 15 Bass Pro truck.
After that, looks like, I'm not sure if this is right, looks like we got the 51 truck, Greg Birch.
I'm showing Andrew McKenzie in 9th right now.
Like I said, not sure if it's correct.
Larry McKenzie in 11th place in that 00. He got the EOL penalty for causing that yellow. Looks like we're getting doubled up and ready to go back to green.
And then rounding out your field in 10th will be the 9 of Michael Rinker.
So as we look at the points coming into this event, Austin Call has the lead and Rob Grob is 2nd, with Brett Edwards, who did not show up tonight, was 3rd, Randall Shelton and Michael Rinker 5th, all separated by only 7 points.
So as the pace car brings them out of turn 2 down the back stretch, got Dean Grob and Chris Myers on that front row. Chris Myers really showing some good speed out of that 24 truck with the damage that he has there on the nose and back bumper of that truck.
Yeah, and a lot of the damage that's cosmetic really doesn't do a whole lot here, especially when half the field's pretty beat up.
As the green comes back out, Rob with a great start there, going to clear the 24 of Myers as they head off into 1. Here comes Myers crossing over.
What a
to the
run!
inside.
Side by side for the lead. Chris Myers and that Garza Law Firm Silverado is going to push it right up the track, push that 7 truck, and it looks like he's going to clear him coming out of 2 here. He's got him. If he just comes up high and closes that door, he's got it. Your new leader.
So that must be 24. With them fresher tires, it looks like Chris Myers has gone to the front.
Now it's going to be interesting to see if Grob is going to drop like a rock with the older tires now that he does not have the clean air.
Well, the 24 truck, Chris Myers really isn't pulling away. That might be by design. It might be a thing too where the 7 truck's letting those tires cool off. He starts to reel them in just a little bit. You're going to see that higher line start to work in his favor, especially down those straightaways. So if he can just match his corner in on that high line, he'll slowly reel them in.
Do you think he could make all 100 laps on one set of tires?
I think he could probably get away with it. I mean, he's looking. I mean, he's smooth. He's in control. He's not tearing his stuff up. I mean, that truck's untouched. He's had great restarts. I mean, we'll see how it goes.
I mean, as we can see, there's been several drivers take 2 sets of tires already in this race. So he could potentially be setting himself up for a great finish if it comes down to like a green-white checker possibly.
We've got a real tight battle if we drop back to this 3rd, 4th, 5th cluster here. We got TJ Hanley, we got Barrett Flo, and then this 12 truck making a move right now down to the inside. Man, these guys have been going at it the last couple laps. This might be something to keep an eye on.
The 16 and the 9 truck are also battling pretty hard for position. Just behind that.
Back up front, though, Chris Myers has stretched his lead out to almost.
Oh no, looks like we got 10. Oh, he saves it. The TJ Hanley got into coming out of 4 there a little bit. Almost looped it, but held on to it. He's going to drop back to 5th with a little bit of gap. He's going to drop back a little bit further, actually. Great save there by TJ Hanley.
Let's see if we can find that save here on the replay. We'll go back and see. TJ Hanley, that 08 Dixie vodka machine you see right here. Yeah, looks like the 92 and the 08 got together. Yeah, that was almost disastrous for that 08 truck.
So you get that 92 truck, Barrett Flo, man, on a mission. He's running down these leaders. He's catching up to that 7 truck right now of Grob, and he's closing quick on it. The laps are running out, though. We're on lap 87 now out of 100. These laps taking about 15 seconds. If we stay green here, it looks like Barrett Flo's going to have probably less than a few minutes to try to run these guys down. Catching them is one thing, passing them is going to be another. And as we saw with Hanley, he's clearly not afraid to use that bumper on somebody.
Flo definitely trying hard here. He knows he has a fast truck trying to get up around these guys. Ryan Grob actually has the worst tires of the bunch here. But just a big shout out to Chris Myers leading this race in that Garza Law Firm truck. Big shout out to Garza Law Firm and all they do to Chris Myers to help him make it to the show every week. And he is putting on a good show for those guys and giving them some TV time.
So,
speaking of a show, Flo goes around the 7 truck, and now he is in position to try to hunt down that leader who's now going to catch lap traffic. This is going to get real exciting real quick. We're coming up on 9 laps to go. We're going to have lap traffic in the mix here, and Barrett Flo times these passes just right. He's going to catch him in the braking zone and go right around him. He's not going to get slowed up at all. Man, this is going to get real dicey real quick. 51 truck looks like he pulls out of the way. We're within striking distance here.
Yeah, as we put the battle box up here, it's going to show the truck next to go a lap down, which is Todd Merkel. Chris Myers, your leader, is in the middle, and Barrett Flo in second, who is trying to run down Chris Myers, is on the bottom. And
I'm just again surprised by this Ryan Grob truck of having 93 laps on his tires and still be able to hold on to these guys.
Absolutely, yeah, that is definitely a feat all in its own, and it looks like actually Myers has picked up the pace.
Yep.
Like I said earlier, after he got around that 7 truck, he didn't really pull away, and I was curious if that was all he had or if that was by design. Looks like that was definitely by design, as he has put that pedal all the way to the floor and then some. Starting to get a pretty healthy lead here. That 92 truck was within striking distance. Now they're really not even in the same part of the track. Chris Myers goes around the 2 truck of Todd Merkel.
Yep, Todd Merkel being a kind person there, rolling up to the high side. We'll see if the 007 does the same thing here as he gets caught by the 24. It looks like
that's gonna cost him a lot of time. Well, that's
Chris Myers not very happy with him as he almost saw the win roll away from him there with that 07 lap truck.
So that time by, Flo was about a tenth and a half faster. We got the lap time history pulled up here for the previous 5 laps.
Yeah, I don't see him closing the gap here. You know, we're 97. We got 3 to go. Unless there's a catastrophic mistake, I think that we're looking at that Garza Law Firm truck taking it home here today. Huge lead by Chris Myers. He comes out. It's going to take it 2 to go right here with a huge gap on Barrett Flo, who did a great job closing it down. But man, it's going to take a catastrophic mistake.
Good job by the 24 truck. It's going to take a yellow for Barrett Flo to catch him at this point.
Yeah, because look at
and he's not going to get that yellow as the white flag comes out this lap. Look at it.
Yeah, the last 3 laps, Myers has run almost 2/10 faster per lap. As Myers works his way through 3 and 4 for the final time, out of 4, sees the checkered flag. He's going to put that number 24 Garza Law Firm truck in victory lane here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Heck of a drive out of that 24 camp with the damage that they had. And fantastic job to Barrett Flo working his way up through traffic, trying to run down that 24 machine, just ran out of time.
How about that? So proud to see a guy, Chris Myers, you know, a real life short track driver, going out every Saturday night, trying to make something of it. Comes here on his weekdays, tries to do something that's still a little fun, has racing involved in it, and joins the league like the SEL last season and able to pull off the victory, his first victory in the SEL. Really proud of the Garza Law Firm Chevy tonight.
Yeah, and let's go through our official finishing order here tonight, presented by the SCL. Your winner is Chris Myers in that 24 machine. Barrett Flo with a hard charge late in the race comes home second. Dean Grau brings it home third in that 7 truck on old tires. I believe he ran all 100 laps, I think it was, on the same set of tires. Chad Waller brings it home fourth, and fifth, Michael Rinker.
Looks like Tillman Hauer bringing it home in 6th place. TJ Hanley was running up towards the front there, brings it home 7th in his first SCL start. Andrew McKenzie is going to be in 8th. Bentley McFarland, a guy we didn't get to talk about a lot tonight, but he was mixing it up kind of towards the front mid-pack, kept getting caught up in some accidents, brings it home 9th. Dan Jones bringing it home P10, that number 007 Chevy Silverado.
In 11th, we got Larry McKenzie in that 00 truck. 12th was Todd Merkel after having a rough night out there, getting involved in several incidents not of his own doing. Greg Birch brings it home 13th. 14th was Austin Call after having a load of trouble getting caught up in several incidents, not having the points night he was looking for. And 15th, Derek Walker.
And then towards the back of the pack, TJ Lane had that internet issue and had to back out. It's a rough night for him. He's new to the series as well. Juan Jimenez bringing it home 17th. He was one of the first guys out, unfortunately. And then Robert Wicks looked like did not get a chance to start. And you can just ignore that Mike Peters and that Josh Jarrett Hill guy. They were just hanging out.
And that is your official finishing order here tonight in the SCL Super Truck Series. Now let's get to our race interviews here with our top 3, starting with Dean Grubb in that 7 truck, bringing it home in 3rd.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I didn't pit for tires. I wanted to keep that track position and lead a couple laps, and I had to try to hold them off on my original tires.
Yeah, man.
You did a great job.
Yeah, that was definitely a tough race out there. Definitely was able to hold on to it, so it was a fantastic drive on old tires, like you said. Man, just walk us through how that race went for you.
I was a little iffy about starting in the front. I thought about maybe trying to slow play a little bit and see what happens. The restarts are tough. Once you get bunched out or spread out a little bit, you can maybe make some passes and kind of get into a groove. But for those first couple laps, it's hard to get rolling. But I held on. I stayed out, took the track position. I guess I had enough cars in between me and the guys with fresh tires to hold them off for a while. But that last 20 laps, Chris and Barrett were coming, and I kind of almost just had to let them by.
You did a great job holding on with those old tires for a long time there, Ryan. We were watching you. We noticed that you hadn't pit yet, and those guys behind you had pit 1 and 2 times, 4 tires. What were you thinking when you saw those guys get on your rear bumper there, your rear spoiler?
I just try to, keep my line. I was running some lap times. I really didn't have a ton of fall off until maybe lap, 80, 85. My times really started slipping. I just wanted the track position. I had a good run at Daytona. Last week I started, I don't know, top 5 somewhere. I screwed up on the first lap and kind of got knocked out of the race. So I wanted a good points day. That's kind of why I stayed out to lead some laps to get some bonus points. And I didn't think I was going to be able to hold on to it for that long. And then once I got that late into the race, I was committed. I had to just go with it.
No, you did a great job. That's a great strategy as bonus points pay dividends in this series, with each spot only be separated by 1 point, and leading the most laps or leading a lap is a 5 bonus point factor. So great job there, Ryan Grob. We're going to call you Rob from now on. Awesome job.
Thanks, guys. Can't wait for the next race. I'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, great job, man.
Well, hey, while we still got you, you have any shout-outs or sponsor plugs you want to get out there for the people tuned in?
Not yet. I'm actually just kind of getting started in this racket, but I appreciate you guys that host the race. Josh, the guy, CJ Mason is the guy that sponsored the broadcast. All you guys and what you do really makes it a good time. So I just want to shout out to all you guys, all the guys that race week in and week out to make this happen. I enjoy it, and I look forward to keep doing it.
Absolutely, man. We'll appreciate it. And once again, hopefully we get to talk to you soon here as we move along in the season.
Thanks. See you guys soon.
And that was Ryan Grubb bringing it home third in that 7 truck with some strategy there on old tires. Now let's get to our runner-up finisher here, Mr. Barrett Flo in that 92 machine.
Hey, bud.
There, Barrett. You got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, man. Good heck of a drive coming up through the field there. Thought you had a run for the checkered flag there with about 10, 15 to go and just ran out of time. Walk us through how that race went for you.
Well, I don't think I ran out of time. I don't think I could have caught him. He was probably a little bit quicker than I was. But, we had to run in early and had to take it easy for the rest of the race because we only had one quick repair. And so I was able to squeeze out a second.
Well, Mike or Josh, you got anything for Barrett?
Yeah, I was going to ask, how'd you feel? I could see you starting a reel in 24 truck. Did you know he was saving, or did you kind of have the same reaction we did? Because we saw him pass the 7 truck for the lead, and he got around him super clean. And it was like, okay, he's either hanging out, or that's all he's got. Walk us through your emotions and your processing when you're starting to reel him in, and then you're not.
Well, if you really want to know my emotions, I really wanted to knock the shit out of him. But,
that's what we like to hear. We saw you do that to TJ Hanley, but we're not going to talk about that right now.
But I couldn't catch him. And really with TJ, it wasn't that I knocked him. It's just that I leaned on him a little bit. But anyway, I couldn't catch him. He deserved it. He won fair and square. So that's it.
Great job tonight, Barrett. I know you're defending champion of this series. We've got a lot of new blood coming into the league in general, and definitely this Super Truck Series. What do you think going on for the rest of the season? How are you going to win this championship again?
I think we got a good shot. I really do. Just be consistent and be smart, and I think we can pull it off again.
All right, Barrett. Well, you have any shout-outs or sponsor plugs you want to get out there for the people tuned in tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank J.O. Flow Grading Company for sponsoring us, and just a big thanks to Josh and Adam for all the hard work that they do with the league and preparing everything. So big shout-out to those guys.
All right, man. Well, once again, congrats on bringing it from the back to the front. Or I should say from the front to the back, then the back to the front again. Bringing it home in second there with the late race charge. Congratulations on that, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again soon.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. And that was Barrett Flo, driver of the 92 truck. out there able to bring it home in the runner-up position after a late race charge trying to run down the 24 of Chris Myers. And speaking of Chris Myers, let's get him up here in the booth and talk to our race winner.
Hey, Chris Myers, I just want to be the one to congratulate you for an awesome run tonight. I know you have been trying to win one of these SCL races for quite a bit here. You've run in our Street Stock Spectacular races, you run in our Cup Series, our Street Stocks, but you pulled out a win tonight in the Truck Series. How do you feel?
Man, I feel great. Like you said, I've been running a couple of y'all's races, quite a few of them now, and been right there and keep getting, caught up in a bunch of wrecks and nonsense and just can't seem to stay out of it. And finally, found some speed here at Bristol and pulled it out.
Yeah, man, definitely had a heck of a drive. Were you worried about that damage on the nose and back bumper of that truck at all after you got involved in those incidents?
Yeah, I mean, I want to apologize to Barrett there. I got into the gas. I thought he was going to go. We were both going pretty quick there in the beginning and got into the back of him, and I apologize for that. And went to the back, and I, didn't really have much damage from that. And then got caught up again, kind of got some front end damage, and then we had a caution, came down, got it repaired a little bit. I didn't take my fast repair at all tonight. Came back out, had some pretty good, position, drove from the back all the way back up to like the 8th position. And then, from there on, just kept moving forward, avoided some more wrecks, had a couple close ones, and, just saved what I could and pulled away there at the end. I saw Barrett coming again and knew I had to just put it down.
Yeah, you definitely had a bad fast truck, especially there at the end. There towards, with about 10 to go, running back into lap traffic, I'm trying to remember what truck it was that pulled down in front of you and you made a little contact. Were you worried at that point that kind of blew your lead?
Well, I had a pretty good gap there. I knew it was going to close it up, but it's a matter of getting to me. You also got to pass me. But yeah, there was actually 2 lap cars. One of them, he just pretty much came right across my nose and almost took us both out. And then there was I don't know what number he was, and then there was a purple truck. He blew up right in front of me coming out of one of the corners, and I thought I was going to wreck right there twice in a row and missed both of them and kept it clean.
I'm glad you did keep it clean tonight, Chris. You did an awesome job of running here. Tell us what you do in the real life racing industry.
So right now, I'm not actually a driver yet. I'm actually on a team. We do run out at Langley. The guy Tillman Hewer also raced in the race today. Had a pretty good run, led some laps, started 3rd. Both of us, just a huge shout out to Garza Law Firm. We're trying to get a team going, see if we can get them to sponsor us and get going and try to win some races running their logos and stuff. And finally got one. But Tillman does race out at Langley Speedway. We are in the Super Street division. We do have a second car for next year. I am looking for sponsorship. So anybody out there that wants to sponsor a guy trying to live his dream, come my way. Anything helps, and I'm willing to work with anybody.
Well, hey, Chris, we always want to help people do that. How can we find you and the guys you race with on social media? Do you guys have Instagram, Facebook? How do we find you guys? And also tell us a little bit how maybe we could use Garza Law Firm. Obviously, some of us aren't near where you are, but, tell us about how we can help support businesses that are supporting motorsports with the people that are supporting you.
So yeah, I have a Facebook. That's pretty much all I have right now. You can look that up. It's Chris Myers. You'll see a race car as the profile picture. You can also look up Tillman Hewer or Tillman Hewer Motorsports on Facebook. Also Instagram. And yeah, Garza Law Firm. They're actually a law firm out of Knoxville, Tennessee. I met a guy, his name is Bill Mulfeld. I don't know if some of y'all may know him. He does a lot of races on here, does some of the Lone Star stuff. And, I got linked up with him. He kind of saw some of the talent I had, and he, felt, a urge to want to try to build a team. And so Garza is a law firm out of Knoxville. I think they do some work in Georgia, maybe Kentucky and North Carolina. I don't think they do anything in Virginia where I'm at, but I did, like I said, get linked up with Bill. Bill is a investigator for the law firm, has been for 10 years. and like I said, he's trying to get them on board, and he does some racing himself, a lot of it, and trying to get something going here and make something happen.
So what you're really saying is next time you get in an incident, we don't want to use your investigator because his investigation may be just a bit slanted as compared to our race control here.
It's a possibility.
Well, good shout out there. Well, let's always try to support people that support motorsports, whether it's real world or digital. So thanks for the information there. Hopefully, somebody's got legal services up in the Knoxville, Tennessee area or somewhere near there. Check out Garza Law Firm, see if they can service your case.
Correct. That's it. Anybody has any questions, hit them up.
Yeah, man. Well, once again, Chris, appreciate you stopping by the booth and congratulations, huge congratulations on bringing home the checkered flag tonight in that 24 Garza Law Firm truck. And we look forward to getting to talk to you more often here.
Yes, sir. And thank you to Full Send Broadcast Network for putting us on, and CJ Mason for sponsoring it tonight. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And that was Chris Myers, driver of the 24 truck, taking home the checkered flag tonight in dominating fashion in the closing laps of this race. Guys, this race lived up to everything I hoped it would be. A lot of action on the track, a little bit of tempers flaring, and ultimately coming home with a beaten and battered race-winning truck.
Hey, that's Bristol, baby. I just took a picture of that race-winning truck, and you can barely read the number on the side.
Yeah, I just got a text from some of the guys at Applebee's. Apparently one of them's got a butter knife in the parking lot, so I got to go over there and calm them down. Typical short track stuff.
All right, guys, I appreciate y'all helping me out here in the booth tonight. For Full Send Broadcast, I'm Jacob with Mike and Josh signing off. We'll see you next time, and we can't wait to see you go full send.